Hi guys, I'm Sparky with Curtis Country Store here in Safford, Arizona, and today I want to talk to you about the process of overseeding your summer lawns. Now we have the advantage of lush green lawns through the winter months in the desert, but it has to start now. So first and foremost, timing is important. Now's the time. Let's do this. With that in mind, we're going to talk about what we need to do to get where we want to go. First thing we're going to do is determine square footage. We need a measurement so that we can rate out how much seed is going to be needed to cover the area to give you the look that we're looking for. General rules of thumb would be that with perennial rye, which is our recommended grass of choice, we recommend anywhere from a pound to a pound and a half per 100 square foot. Keeping in mind, this is not a grass that crawls or moves across the soil surface. This is a bunch grass. Where a seed lands is where the plant will grow. So good even distribution is going to be crucial in terms of getting a lush green look. Now after that, we need to think about how we get there. Well, ideally we'll start 2 weeks before we want to do the actual overseeding. We would begin to cut back on the frequency of our irrigation. We would water less often, but still watering for the usual amount of time that we do. But what we're trying to do is to trigger the Bermuda to think about dormancy. And in watering less often, but well, we're cueing it that it's time to shut down and make room for the next season. Now, don't get me wrong. I've gone so far as to go out because I wanted to get it done, and I have scalped my Bermuda all the way down, spread my seed, and then had that Bermuda lawn come back really well the next year. But if we ease the Bermuda lawn into it by slowly cutting back on watering and slowly dropping our mower over a process of 2 weeks, we can encourage the Bermuda lawn to go dormant, which then gives us the perfect opportunity to get our perennial rye up and running. Now, we wouldn't have fertilized our lawn this last fall because that would just encourage rank growth in the Bermuda. But we're gonna go ahead and fertilize when we lay our seed down. But we're gonna use a very specialized fertilizer, and it's a starter fertilizer. Now, this can be applied when the seed is applied. It's rich in phosphorus. Phosphorus encourages root growth. Strong, healthy roots mean strong, healthy plants. That would be true of grasses, trees, and almost anything else that we've got. So we've decided where we're going to do it. We decided how much that we need. And now what do? Well, we're going to mow the lawn down our usual way, but then we're going to drop our mower down as low as we can go. We want to scalp this lawn. And what we're trying to do is ensure that we can make good contact of seed and soil. And we cannot do that when we are stacked up with previous season's growth called thatch, or that we've left the lawn so high that sun, water, cannot get down to the seed and let it do its thing. So I've dropped my mower as low as it'll go. I'm going to mow. I'm going to come in. I'm going to rake the area clean. I'm going to decide how much seed I need, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to choose my method of delivery. You can use broadcast spreaders like this. You can use drop spreaders like this. But what's important is good even distribution. And how do you do that? Regardless of method of delivery, I'm going to take half of my seed and I'm going to go one way, and then I'm going to cross hatch it and I'm going to go across the other way. This ensures that I'm not striping or adding more or fewer seeds in a given area, and it gives me a more even distribution, I think. So we broadcast our seed. But now what we need to do is we need to protect and invest in their future. And we do that with the application of mulches. Now you can buy them in small bags for small areas, or you can buy them in large amounts. We make available here in bulk. Great product for just that. Why are we mulching? Mulch does a number of things. It ensures good contact between seed and soil. It holds on to moisture, which helps with seed germination. It keeps it out of the line of sight of birds, and to some degree, it actually prevents weeds. Now, seed is broadcast. Now, keep in mind, the mulch can be no more than 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 inch at the most. I'd rather see 1/4 of an inch. We don't want to make it so hard that the seed doesn't have the energy to push through. Thick mulches make it hard for the seed to find its way through. 1/4 inch mulch is all we need. Now we need to think about watering. A dry seed is a dead seed. So if these seeds dry out during this process of germination, that individual plant is not going to make the cut. It has died. There's no coming back. So what we're going to recommend, regardless of method of delivery, be it an automated system or if you choose to do it by hand, which can be an effort for sure. We're going to have you water infrequently. We're going to have you water frequently, but for short periods at a time. It is not uncommon for systems or lawns to be watered anywhere from 3 to 5 times in a day for periods of anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. I want to moisten the area, but not apply so much water that the area becomes pooling. Seeds begin to move and shift. That's what we're trying to avoid. So it wouldn't surprise me if my system came on at 6 for 3 minutes, again at 10, maybe even again at 2, and then to close the day off, it might go on again at 5 or 6. I just do not want the area to dry out once I start my irrigation process. So we're 2 or 3 days in with this irrigation cycle. Anywhere from 5 to 10 days, I would expect and hope to see germination of seeds. As I see more in the way of germination of seeds, I will then think about, I'm going to eliminate some of the waterings midday, but I'm going to stack that time up on the morning and the afternoon watering. So say 80% of my seed is up and I was watering several minutes a day. What's important now is to water for a longer period. Now that the plant has established or at least germinated, we need to establish it, and that's done with deeper watering. So now I'll take some of the waterings that I was doing midday, I'll put that on a morning and in the afternoon, and that will carry me for another week or two. We're now approximately 3 to 4 weeks in. Grass is approaching anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches. Watering should now be consideration be given to being watering once a day, but for an extended period of time. If your system ran anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes based on soil types, that wouldn't surprise me. But we're now at about 2 inches. You can go ahead and give your lawn its first light haircut, and then we're going to head into the winter. As to how often you have to water during the winter, it's going to be hard to say. Soil structure, temperatures, wind, all of this comes into play, but you look for cues. If you go out and the lawn is bright and shiny and you put your foot in it and your impression springs back, we don't have to water that day. We watered yesterday and we go out the next day. I look at the lawn, it looks dull, it looks flat. I put my foot in it. The impression stays it tells me that I'm not watering well enough. Above all, we want you to call us here at Curtis Landscape if you have questions that aren't answered here, or feel free to leave comments and questions, and we'll do our best to get them addressed. So thank you for your time, and again, let us know if we can help you out. Our success depends on your success.